Hi, everyone. This is James from Florence, and we are live on our Thursdays Lives for Authors. Jen is running a little bit late from work, so she'll be on any minute, but we just want to welcome everyone to our show. We're really excited about all the things that we're going to be talking about. Pop culture is blowing apart. There's so many things that are happening, and we just got a famous NFL player who was arrested. For attempted murder or unaliving, as we like to say, because we don't want to get in trouble from the people. I'm telling you, Florence, TMZ is amazing. I think
Yes,
they literally have a million people all over the world just getting video. They have videos of everything.
they're everywhere. I'm convinced they have people in every state, multiple people everywhere, just waiting for that next big story to break.
It is. And now, as we speak, we have the great JL Rothstein. How are you doing,
Hi,
Jen?
Jen.
Hi, happy Thursday.
Yes,
Happy
happy
Thursday. We were
Thursday.
just talking about all the crazy things. And before we start, we wanted to give a ton of love to our sponsor today, Seagram's Escapes. Now, we get into asked to endorse a lot of things, but
Yes.
I'm telling you right now, these are delicious. I cannot get enough of them. It has a light amount of alcohol in it, and it has a lot of sweet, delicious juices. This one is the Jamaican Me Happy, but I'm telling you, the one that I love them all, but the blueberry, and they just have the acai. I mean, they have just flavors that are amazing. We're going to do a main commercial of them with me drinking them, but we just want to announce our sponsor for tonight
Yes.
and give Seagram's a big thumbs up. Again, I think some of these have a little bit too much sugar sometimes, a little bit too much alcohol, to be honest. But this one is light on the alcohol. I believe it has 3.5% alcohol, and it is delicious over ice. I squeeze a little bit of lemon on it to give it a little bit of twist, but it is delicious. So thank you again, Seagram's, for all you've done and you sent us. And we're going to be doing some other things for them.
Yes.
So we're very excited. Thanks
Yes.
again.
We also have other people that we're collaborating with. So we have
Yes.
different sponsors that we'll talk about on each show. But yeah, thank you, Seagram, so much. It's been so great working with them.
Peace. Seagrams, we
It sounds
love
very
them.
Yes.
refreshing. It sounds
We
very
love them.
refreshing.
I'm
Oh,
not
he
kidding,
loves
Jen.
it.
I
He
could drink
loves it.
10 of these. These are
They're
so
good.
good. These are so good. But going on, Jen, we have so many things to talk about. I literally cannot hold myself in with the Diddy thing. So, Florence, I'm going to selfishly start first.
Sure.
The Diddy thing, do you guys know what his special on Netflix is called?
No.
No.
Did Diddy do it? That was
Oh, is that the 50 Cent one?
that's the 50 Cent
50
one.
Cent.
Oh
I heard
my
about that.
goodness.
And
50
he
Cent.
did an interview and he said, I am not against Diddy. I have nothing against him, blah, blah, blah. We find out that he has been getting interviews and evidence for over 10 years on Diddy and to
Wow.
bring him down. So he's been working on this special for over 10
But he
years.
has nothing against him.
But him and Diddy are cool. So
Oh my
he
God.
also put out some posts that were very funny about Diddy. He doesn't understand why Diddy's upset. He's
During
in
the
the
trial.
perfect place that he deserves to be in, and
He can have fun there.
yeah, he has all the guys he wants. Just
Crazy.
party crazy guys, so he could have fun. And what's interesting is that I watch right and left wing media to see what's going on, and on the right, the rumors have it that Trump is thinking of giving him a pardon
Yes.
along with Ghislaine Maxwell, the madam or whoever for Jeffrey Epstein on the same day because he doesn't want the backlash kind of
To linger.
Spread
to
out.
linger. Because it's funny. He hated all these women he was talking about. He didn't like. He didn't wish them well. He hated them. They're evil and all this stuff. And then when he was asked about her, he said, "I wish her well."
Yeah.
So it's going to be a very strange thing.
He's
but
such a character.
yeah,
Oh
President.
my
this
goodness.
this Diddy thing, I'm telling you, I think it's going to be worse than what we think. And 50 Cent he has had a long-standing feud with him. He hates the guy, and I know he's doing interviews saying this isn't a hate piece, and already Netflix is saying this is probably going to break records
Yes,
for their views.
it'll break
So
the
Wow.
internet as well.
unbelievable. So Florence, I'll let you have the thing. I could not hold that in.
Well, just a couple of stories in the NFL. One of the big stories broke late yesterday is that Drew Brees, the former Saints player, New Orleans Saints quarterback, is going to be joining Fox Sports full time. Um, and what's very interesting is a lot of people are saying is he probably will be taking over for Mark Sanchez. And if anyone remembers that story,
Yep.
Mark Sanchez, I believe, is in jail or was sent to jail. And he ended up in the hospital, and there was a whole thing with him, and he got into a lot of trouble. But Drew Brees, this is now his second time around trying to be a sports analyst, and Fox offered him full time. And we all know that Tom Brady is also a full-time Fox Sports analyst. So now it looks like Fox has one of the best lineups as far as the GOAT, players, the greatest of all time, the beloved, quarterbacks, it looks like, because they've had others as well. But right now, Tom Brady and Drew Brees are the two big ones. And I know, of course, a lot of Saints fans are over the moon about this, very excited. See, to me, Drew Brees is so interesting because he was born in Texas. He's a Texas boy. But of course, everyone knows him for playing on the Saints, the New Orleans Saints in Louisiana. But he also now lives in California for several years, and that's where he's choosing to raise his family and educate his children. So I feel like this is one of those stories that everybody loves to hear. And
Hmm.
again, his first time around doing this, he didn't get the best, response from people. Some people didn't think he did great. But this time around, I feel like he has a better chance. I feel like people really want him to succeed and are really rooting for him. So I just thought that was like a really great story. And I
You
am
should call
happy
Tom
for him.
Brady. You should call Tom Brady and get some
Exactly.
pointers.
And I'm
Get
sure
some
Tom
pointers.
Brady's,
Figure out what he did because nobody liked Tom Brady
yeah,
when he first come on, and now he's one of the
no.
top.
And
Yep.
Tom Brady's the type of guy, from what I've read, from what I know, that he does reach out to people
Yeah.
and he does wish people well. He's one of those guys. He doesn't have jealousy. He doesn't have envy. He literally wants everyone to succeed. At least that's what I've heard. I've never met the man, but he is the type behind the scenes. He does reach out to people and he does say, "Hey, I'm here if you have any questions." And he always, congratulates people and
Yep.
lets them know he's rooting for them. So yeah, so I think that that's just a really great story, and I am happy for him. So I just wanted to mention that because it was the all of buzz last night on Twitter.
Yeah.
It was trending, and everybody's so excited for him. And then I also wanted to mention, because it's bye week in the NFL, the Chiefs are off this week. So of course there was some Taylor and Trav news. They were sighted in New York because they had a date night, and apparently, according to TMZ,
Ugh,
who know everything, they were
I
holding
know.
hands and very romantic. And according to all the Swifties out there, a lot of people are also saying that they're planning their wedding. They're making some wedding plans this week. And apparently they are just 1,000% still there, still together, still on. So any of those haters out there, it looks like they are definitely getting married. I know a lot of people were, speculating,
I don't know
but
how
they
you
seem
survive under
very
that
happy.
scrutiny. I don't know how you survive under that
Yeah,
kind of scrutiny. Like you can't go out to eat. Like TMZ knows
no,
where you are and what you're doing, and that you were holding hands last night. I mean, it's just so crazy. I don't know two
yeah.
bigger stars surviving under a spotlight the way they're under a spotlight and everything being called into question. And what I don't know how you survive under that, honestly.
Yeah,
But
we
Yeah,
had a
crazy.
situation in Fairfield where we had Scandia, that was the golf, it's the putt golf or whatever you guys call it, whatever anyone calls it, where they have pinball, they have go-karts, they had everything. It was closed on a Saturday and no one knew, and I drove over there. There was people lined up on the highway. There was Michael Jordan had
Oh,
bought it for the day
oh
and he
gosh,
closed it down just for his family. So when I drove by, I saw Michael Jordan doing putt putt with his kid. I couldn't believe it. But he closed it for the whole day. And remember, with Michael Jackson, he notoriously would shop at midnight.
Yeah.
And he would go to movie theaters. He would make special deals where only his kids could
Yeah,
go.
shut everything down.
Yeah, so
That's so
it's just
crazy. I can't
kind of
even imagine.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now here's another thing on Tom Brady. He cloned
Yeah.
his dog.
Oh,
I
I
didn't even know if that
know.
story was true. To
No,
be
it
honest with
is.
you. If they fabricated a little
No,
bit.
when I was when I had my business going, we were rolling in Marin County. The first pet cloning business was next door. It was the first one in the country,
Ugh.
and so I went over there and I ate lunch with a couple of the nurses over there, and I asked them what the trip was, and what they do is they take the DNA, they create it, eggs, embryo, whatever, and it's $25,000 per pet, or it was a certain amount to keep their DNA. And now I'm sure it's 40 or
Oh,
50,000
it's
per
yeah, or
pet.
more. Yeah.
But how would you feel? I know you
No.
love your cat. You have a beautiful cat.
Beautiful.
Oh,
And I don't know if I would want to clone
mm-mm.
my animal. I mean, it reminds me of the King of Queens when he had like 4 dogs
Named
die
Rocky.
and he didn't know, and he goes, "Why didn't you ever tell me Rocky died?" And he goes, "Well, that's Rocky 4."
Yeah, there's Rocky 2, 3, and 4.
So would you guys be into that? I don't know.
I mean, couldn't you just find a similar, like when my Bichon passed away, Bella, I had her for almost 15 years, and I was heartbroken. I loved her. I adored her. She was like my child. But there's so many cute Bichons out in the world.
Yep.
So many who need to be rescued. So
I
many
know.
who don't have homes. I feel like, and nothing against what Tom Brady did. Hey, he has the money. I mean, he could do whatever he wants. He's Tom Brady. But there probably was another dog that looked like his Luna and that probably needed love and needed a home. And what better than, a multi-millionaire to give her that. But again, I know for me personally, I would just have found a similar dog if I really wanted to do that.
Jen,
I don't know.
what do you think?
Animals have such personality. Like we have Mr. Thumbs. Mr. Thumbs is
Yeah.
13 and a half, going on 14. He's a little old guy now, our little old guy. But
Mm.
they have such personalities in the house. Like they have their own unique thing. And I think even if you cloned the look or got the look, it's not the same animal. Like it has a different personality. But when I read this story, I mean, I have enough gray hair to remember the Twilight Zone when we were all kids, the episode where they were just almost turning people into the Ken doll and the Barbie doll. So it was like, you're going to go in, you're going to come out, you're going to look pretty. And it was like, if everybody looks the same, then nobody's different. Nobody's unique. Like the beauty comes in that uniqueness to some extent. And so that's what it made me think of. Like, oh, we're going in the machine and we're going to turn into someone who's quote unquote pretty or perfect or looks a certain way. And why wouldn't you want to do that? And it just made me think of that. It's like, oh, we just don't learn these lessons. Like there's something to be
Yeah.
said about that unique thing in your life that isn't to be repeated. Like
There's
isn't
beauty in uniqueness. There's
Yes.
beauty and individuality and
Yes.
standing out. And I know
And
we're
even if you
talking
get the
about a
same
dog.
dog, they're going to be different, right? Like
Of
even if you got a
course.
German Shepherd and your next dog was a German Shepherd, I guarantee you they would
Of
be
course.
different characters. Like they would have different personalities and they would both be equally deserving of love. So it just,
Yeah.
I don't know. There was something about it. I was like, I don't think I would do it even if I had the
The
money.
money.
But
Yeah. And
obviously he
again,
was very attached to this dog.
yes, yes. And I understand it. I mean, twice in my life, I had dogs for a very, very long time. We're talking 14,
Yeah.
15 years. And it is so hard to say
Oh,
goodbye. It is
yes.
heartbreaking. But
Yes.
again, one of them was a Bichon. It would be so easy to find a Bichon that needs a home, that
Yeah.
needs to be rescued.
Yeah.
And again, to each their own, but I just don't think I would have gone to that extreme. Like you said, even if I had the money,
Yeah.
I think I would have just gone to a place and, found another
Yeah.
dog who needed,
Yeah,
needed love.
the Twilight Zone was so cool, and that's one of my favorite shows of all
Mm.
time. And I believe Richard Long, who was on the Big Valley, was on it, where he was trying to talk the girl. There was like 10 or 15 types of looks a man or a woman could have. And
Yeah.
she was kind of dumpy and plain looking a little
Yes,
bit.
that's it. She
And
was totally plain, and she just
yeah,
wanted to be that. And he was like, "No, no, you
no,
want to
you
be
could be
this. You
beautiful.
could be beautiful."
And he
And
did. And
yeah,
and then when he talked her into it and she did it. And then she was so excited. She goes, I'm beautiful. Look at
yeah.
this. It was
And
just ridiculous.
we just don't learn our lessons. Like
Yeah.
that it was totally fine for her to look like that. And that's exactly the episode I thought of when I thought of that. I was just like, we just don't learn this uniqueness is beautiful
Well,
too in all of its
here's the real
glory.
scary. Here's the real scary thing too, is that I stay with Silicon Valley. A lot of the craziness that they're working on and the insanity, they're actually in the process of recreating brontosauruses. So
I
Jurassic Park type stuff.
Oh my
They
lord.
want to make a
Crazy.
brontosaurus. They have the DNA and they've actually got it to the point where they can now grow it and create life from it. They're trying to do it with plants too, because a lot of the plants of today
mm,
wouldn't
yeah.
allow them to eat them. So it's unbelievable and it's scary times. That's why I tell people watch the movie I, Robot, because they're saying AI is amazing. And don't get me started with AI because they are wrong every day when I look up stuff. I don't look up legal things and don't look up medical things on AI because you will get
Oh,
crazy answers.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
Uh,
true.
but it is crazy what they're doing. I have friends in Taiwan and in other places, and they're way ahead of us with robots and everything. They already
Mm,
have. We just
yeah.
started selling robots in home, but they have robots that it looks just like iRobot. It's unbelievable. They could cook, clean. I mean, it is just getting to the
The
point
problem
where
is the technology is here, right? You can't
yeah,
put a genie back in the bottle type thing. It's kind of like when cryptocurrency first come out, like all these things that they come out with from a technology standpoint, like it's here. You can't just say, "Oh, now I think this is like scary and we don't want this and put it back." It's too late. It's here. Someone's going to use it for
Yeah.
something. Like or going across. So hopefully the AI stuff gets better when you're asking it questions because that really is based on who's putting the answers in,
yeah,
who's answering the initial questions to start with. But yeah, I love the Twilight Zone episodes.
yeah.
I
See that?
keep
Those are the
saying, not
best.
to interrupt you, it's crazy with the AI because James and I talk about it. A lot of like med students are like passing tests by, the AI and
Yeah,
by getting their answers and studying from that. That it
it's
makes
just
you wonder. It's
crazy.
like,
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
who's diagnosing us, right?
Yes, yes. And who's going to be in the operating room? And did this person really,
I
know the
know.
information? Or are they going to chat GPT?
Like
Yeah,
I said, I was in an ER type situation, and the doctor who looked like a high school cheerleader, she looked so young, and I had to pronounce the drug. I have medical background, extensive medical background, but I had to pronounce the drug because she
Because
couldn't
she
pronounce
couldn't.
it.
I
She was the
remember
oh,
that.
doctor. She was the
Yes.
doctor.
When we took my mom to the doctor, I
Oh,
remember that.
I'm like, oh my
Yeah,
God.
he knew more
yeah,
than the person
And
taking
I
care of
don't,
my
yeah,
I'm not a
mom.
doctor, so I don't know any of that stuff, but boy, it was scary. But the big thing about AI is if they begin to learn. And
mm,
that's the thing that, because they're logical, they
Yeah.
go
right.
purely by logic. And in the movie I, Robot, the robots learned, and this is what they're actually worried about. They learned, but they realized that man was bad
Yeah,
and man was screwing up things. So the robots felt we have to take you
That's so
over,
scary.
kill some of you, literally unalive some of you, but we have to take you over for your own good.
yeah.
And this is what they're kind of really in California. They want to pass a law to have a kill switch.
So
So if it gets out of hand, that they
yeah.
could literally stop all the AI. So boy,
Good
there's
luck.
some books in that.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
There's some fictional. There's been many, many in the past
you could go
written
down a
about this stuff.
rabbit hole,
You
a real
really
rabbit
could. You
hole.
really
So
could.
scary.
I was inspired today, going back to the books, is that uh, Stephen King talked about his journey to be a author, and I think this is kind of good segue. Good job, Jim, with the
Yeah,
segue.
very good.
We get the segue out of AI, so thumbs up. Thank you, Seagrams,
Yes.
for that.
I guess it's helping.
It's helping, but
Inspiring.
yeah. But what happened is that he had, I guess, put in 30 manuscripts, or he sent them out, and he threw them away. He was going to throw away, I forget what, a very famous Carrie or Cujo
Yeah.
or something. He was going to throw it away, and he said, "Forget it. I'm not going to do this." And his wife just scolded him and said, "Get it out there, keep trying." And he finally got it, and he
Yes.
finally made
He
it.
threw it in the garbage,
Yeah.
Carrie. He threw it in the garbage
I
and
can't
she
even
took it
imagine.
out
Can you
and she
imagine?
said, "No, do not stop. This is good. Keep going."
Yeah.
Yeah, he was and that's what I think is so important when you look at writing. I see so many people. The problem is, and let's be real, everyone and their mother wants to write a book, and some are not that good. So I'm being very real, and that's why we kind of we've had a lot of people say, endorse our book or help us,
Or
or
they
we'll
send us
we'll
books
pay
that aren't
you.
even
Yeah,
edited
we'll pay
yet.
you to market.
Yeah.
We'll pay you a lot of money to market it. And we're like, okay, see spot run, and spot was misspelled. So no, we're not going to do that. Where some, it's good writing. They may have
Mhm.
needed an editor or something like that. We don't mind it, but if you have the talent, we really do. That we're not just going to take someone's money. We've been offered a lot of money for some people, and we just, because it's not going to succeed, and we don't want to be affiliated or known as, we'll just take a buck and we won't succeed.
Yeah.
We want success. And but the thing that I see with so many people, it's the good ones that are good writers, they get discouraged and quit sometimes, where the ones that really shouldn't be writing are throwing out 6 books a year. So, and I think that's a lesson for all writers, Jen, is there's times where, you may act cool and collected, but always it's us too. There's times where your numbers won't be up, or you won't get the numbers you think, or you won't
Yeah.
get, it gets discouraging. So it's not rare to not everything's going to be a success. And I think that's the number one thing that a lot of writers have to overcome.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're always, if you're a writer, you're always, you know, cross-examining your thought process, or looking at something you're writing, or saying, "Oh, this could be better." You can definitely get in your own head. You can get in your own way. But I think more importantly is just to get it all out. Don't get stuck on every little detail. Finish the story, and then you can worry about going back and editing something, or trying to catch every little thing. But there isn't a book that I read. I mean, I think I've mentioned to you guys before about how, if you're a writer, you're a reader, right? You've been reading books. You're a fan of books, and I don't know, there's not too many that I read that don't have something about it. Like, oh, this feels like a little bit of a lull, or, oh, this character is suddenly not all that likable, or there's a few spelling things here and there. There's this pursuit of perfection is probably your easiest path to go down. Don't try to do that. Just try to get that story out, tell the story you wanted to tell the story, write something you would like to read, and then you can worry about the nitty-gritty of the rest of the stuff after. There's plenty of time for that. I think if you're getting stuck along the way in those things and pursuing perfection, you're not going to finish. You're not going to ever get to the end of that book. And that's probably more important than everything else, is that you actually have something finished that you could then put in front of an editor, or you know, an agent, or somebody, with however you're pursuing that path to publication.
Yeah, we had, and Florence will remember, we had Mick Foley, excuse me, the famous wrestler who
Yeah.
wrote several New York Times bestsellers. He said his first book, everyone thought he was going to fail, and even he thought it's going to be dumb. So what ended up happening is they hired a professional writer. He wrote all the notes that Mick Foley gave. Mick Foley told the publisher, "I don't like this. I'm not accepting it."
Yeah.
So
Yep.
he said, "I'm going to write my own stuff." And here's what's so funny about Mick. He wrote it in pencil, and he never typed it. and he wrote, I think, about 20,000 words.
Yep.
Wow.
And he sent them the thing, and they couldn't believe it. He said he didn't think there was enough passion in it. There wasn't enough of him in it, and he sold over millions of copies.
Yeah.
It just
Yep.
because it was him
Yeah.
and it was a part of his. So I think that your point is so well taken. You can't look at perfection and be perfect and be part
No.
of the book is your personality, the way you speak. Why do you think all these people, the best people that tell stories are Southern people? Look at Andy Griffith.
Yeah.
He would use folksy, that was his thing. And it made him, I mean, it's mesmerizing to listen to someone like that. And he doesn't talk proper. He doesn't talk with, spell
Right.
everything out.
Right.
But it's him. And I think
Yeah.
that's what writers need. You need to find
Your voice.
your voice and who
feelings.
you
Yeah.
are.
Put it out
Yeah,
there.
and your voice does come through. Like if somebody has met you and they've talked to you or if they've watched some videos and then they go read your material, a lot of times they can tell if you're the one who wrote that or somebody else wrote it. And that's the difficulty with the ghostwriter, right? It has a tendency to just seem washed, seem washed and like a computer wrote it or like someone else wrote it because you can't put those little things about you. They don't come through if you have a ghostwriter or they don't come through if somebody else writes that material. So everybody has that unique voice and sometimes it takes more than one book for you to really find it yourself. You write your first book, maybe your second book, and then all of a sudden it's like it kind of coalesces and you find that, and then everything you write it sort of comes through it. Like if you've ever read your favorite author and you read a paragraph and you're like, oh yes, this is like why I read this person, right? Because you can really hear it. You're reading it but you could almost hear them saying it, and so it's a very unique thing to the author. And when you see some of these really famous authors get much older and all of a sudden it's like their books change and you're like, what's going on here? It's got some elements but not all of it, and I think a lot of times that's somebody else writing that material.
It's also, you got to be, I realize, and Florence has realized that you don't know really what's going to grab audiences. We did a
Yeah.
podcast on someone that we thought, gosh, it's, we're going to get lucky to get 1,000 views. It now is reached over 50,000 views. And
Yeah.
we're like,
That was
what
shocking.
the heck? And then we did one that we thought we were going to get an Emmy for, and it
Wow.
got 200 views. And
Yeah.
we're thinking to ourselves, what in the world?
That
Yeah.
happens a lot.
It does.
Yeah, you never know, and what will grab the audience. But that's the thing. I always tell podcasters, and we struggle with that sometimes. Are you doing the show or the book or your novel, whatever, for you or for your audience? And
Right.
that's a real hard thing too, because there's passions of mine that I would love to talk. I'd love to talk about history. I'd love to
Yeah.
talk about Revolutionary War, but we would get 10 views. So I'm not going to do that. I realize our fan base doesn't
Florence
want
is
that.
shaking her head. She's like, yeah,
Yeah.
you know what? James, you and I separately can talk about
Yeah.
Nathaniel Philbrick's Bunker Hill, okay?
There you go.
We
Yeah,
can
I
talk
think-
about it all day. We can talk about Sam Adams and we can talk
Oh.
about
I
all
think
those
that's a good
characters.
I
idea.
love the Revolutionary War.
That's a good
so,
idea.
and it's amazing, and just the characters and the things that happen. But it wouldn't sell. I do listen to a couple podcasters that do have about
Yeah.
100 followers, but they're very interesting. But I
Yeah.
think the thing is you've got to realize too, what's your passion. You have to be able to do
Yeah.
reach your audience. What do the people that are listening to you want to hear? That's why you have to change up your podcast once in a while. You have to change up. If your first one doesn't do so good, realize, wow, why didn't it hit people?
Yeah.
Was it marketing? Was it poor editing? Was it, we had a friend that did a book and, oh my God, they edited themselves and it was brutal. I
Yeah.
mean, there was just too many mistakes and real bad ones. And
Yeah.
it made them look bad. And that's the thing, is you got to realize, why can't I get the views? Now, also, we live in a copycat world. I am so sick of podcasters, especially just copying what someone else does.
Yeah.
That's loser. I just hate that. Be who you are, be yourself. I mean, if you just want to make a buck, do your thing. But I think with writing, especially, and podcasting, Be
The
yourself.
best,
Yeah.
I feel the best material, the best content is unique.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
what you can't stand out whether you're a podcaster, a writer, social media marketer, whatever it is, whatever your thing is, whatever your job is. You can't stand out if you're doing the same thing everyone else is doing. If
Right.
you're copy and pasting other people's, work or ideas,
It's
it
true.
just it you don't stand out. And I
Yeah.
always say to people, if when they ask if they ever look for advice, or why did it work out for you guys? Well, because when we started, nobody else was really doing what we were doing, and we were okay with that. We
Yeah.
weren't looking to do what everyone else was doing. Even when we started doing our interviews, James will tell you there were people I thought would be really fun to interview, and he's like, you know what? That really isn't what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. He would
Yeah.
say to me, you know what? I got this person. I'm thinking, we should interview him. And my feeling would be, I don't know if that's gonna really go over with
Right.
the audience. And there are times where you really have to say to yourself, who are we? Or who am
Yeah.
I?
Yep.
What is the message? What am I? Who am I looking to attract? Type of thing. And I think a lot of people don't realize, if you're doing what everyone else is doing, you're not going to stand out, number one. And number two, are you really going to reach the audience you want to reach? Because it's
Right.
what other people are doing, and that's their audience and their community. And like James said, he could spend all day talking about history, and he could. He's very intelligent. He has a lot of facts. He knows a lot of stuff. He knows a lot of topics. But again, you got to kind of go with what you feel your audience is going to respond to. And Jen, I think you're perfect at doing that. I think
Yeah.
your
Oh,
books
thank you.
have a niche, have an audience. There's a very specific tone with your books that seem to go through the whole series, and
That's
I
it.
think it's fantastic.
This is why I tell writers to follow you too, Jen, because what I love about you, I think your talent is character development.
Yes.
I love the way you develop the characters. You have a feeling for the
Yeah.
characters. And I think that's what I really enjoy. Not everyone has that. And I think with a lot of writers, it's kind of like podcasters. They could have 5 viewers and say, man, my podcast kicks. It's
Yeah.
awesome. It is great.
Yeah.
I mean, but the thing is, and it may be, and
Right.
just
Right.
people don't get it. But you got to realize also that there's you always have to be improving. I watch every show and I seek something critical about me every show. And I think, okay, I should have done that. I shouldn't have moved that way. I shouldn't have said
Me
that,
too.
or I should have done that.
Yeah.
Because I want to be perfect. I really want, and I'll never get the perfect show, but I always want to strive for that. And I think that's the problem is people just say, wow, I got 10,000 followers or 10,000 views. I kicked it. We
Yeah.
solved podcasting. And that's not true. You should always want to get better, always want to do things for your audience. And that's what I like about you, because you put the time and effort into the character development, which shows the passion and shows everything. And that's what I like. I love the characters. And I think that's why your books are so good.
Well, I appreciate that. It does.
Yes.
It takes a little bit more work to give them their own unique, um, you know, sense of justice, their own unique sense of the world, their own unique thought process. It takes a little bit more time, but I think it comes out when you're reading it that that doesn't just look like every other character that's in the book or on the page, and you really get to feel like you could almost see them, you could almost envision them, you could almost hear yourself talking to them. And so it takes a lot more. You put certainly a lot more effort into developing that ever makes it to the page, right? Like you've fleshed them out in a way that you almost feel like you know them, like they're actual people, but probably only 20% of whatever that is that you've done the work for is going to make it into the book. But I think somehow it rounds them out a little bit better and makes them stand out a little bit more than just, oh, this is the bad guy or this is the good guy. People are complex and your characters should be complex too. You shouldn't be just a straightforward bad guy or just a straightforward good guy, right? Like you want to have a little bit of complexity to people, whether they're supernatural characters or not, because if it's just always Superman, right? Like in Superman, what makes the Superman stories unique sometimes is when you see that Superman makes a decision that you're shocked by. Oh my goodness, he was selfish in that moment, or he went bad in that moment, or he's so distraught and sorrowful, he does something different. He's not just racing up to the skies and saving falling airplanes, right? That would be boring to read
Yeah,
a whole book
different
that was that, right?
complexities,
You have
different
to have
colors.
them,
Yeah.
they have to be complex, and they have to fall at times, and they have to have flaws. Those are the things people want to read and can relate to. So if your characters are maybe too straightforward, you should think about that. Put them in
See,
situations where they have to go against something that they maybe wouldn't normally.
that's what I was going to say about your writing, Jen. I feel like your characters have layers, they have colors.
Yeah.
They're not straightforward one type of thing. And I've always found that really interesting. And like James said, character development, I think, is definitely your
And
strong suit.
no offense if you've written about vampires, but my God, I I know what's that series that was weird.
Oh, Game of Thrones?
No, the other one with the vampire, the girl, her biggest
Twilight.
thing,
Oh,
Twilight. Oh
Twilight.
my gosh.
Those are huge. Game of
Yeah,
Thrones,
please no more
Twilight.
vampire books.
I'm watching. Hey, I was telling James. I don't know, Jen, if you were ever into The Crown or the
Mm,
Tudors,
yep.
that British, the royalty. Those I have rediscovered these shows, and I feel like seriously, I want to walk around speaking, proper English, British. I've learned to curtsy and
She's
bow.
curtsied at me, and
Watching these
it scares me.
And again, the
And they had some
writing.
tea. We've got some proper tea we've got
Spot.
I
going
love
on.
my tea.
Gotta
I
have
love
a
my
spot of
tea.
tea.
I've always been a tea drinker, but really, the writing of these
Yeah.
characters, they're so amazing.
But
And
they're
I always
complex.
think,
They do
I love
selfish
it.
things. They get themselves in trouble. They make good decisions. They make bad decisions. They
Yeah,
fight with one another. I mean, this is the
so
reason you're
interesting.
watching it, right? If it was just that
Yes.
this was plain or straightforward, or if you always knew what someone was going to do, when Alan and I are watching TV, he's a big mystery guy. He loves the murder mystery
Mm.
genre on TV. And when the thing first starts and Alan's like, that's the killer. I hate that. I'm like, how do you know that that's the killer? First of all, and most of the time he's right, but it's kind of formulaic and recipe-ish, and the ones we love the most are the ones where we're wrong, right? Like we
Yes.
guess who the killer is and we're wrong about it because they had enough twists about it, or they introduce something. So it's that's what you can see. That's when you can see the differences. That somebody doesn't see something
Yeah.
coming, and somebody doesn't know exact, or somebody thinks someone's bad and then it turns out that they're not bad, and those are the ones that people usually enjoy reading.
This is why I love Columbo, because they tell you who the murderer is,
Yeah.
but then it's just amazing how they come about
Yeah.
finding out. And
Yep.
what a magical show that was. But going back to characters, I think that's why superheroes are so great. Captain America was a little bit too perfect,
Yeah.
but you got people like Spider-Man and Iron Man who've got a lot of flaws and a
There's
lot.
always a dark side.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
make bad decisions. Batman, when there was a lot of issues there and a darkness to them, I think people like that, especially Spider-Man, where it shows a human side of the mistakes
backstory.
and the
Yeah.
backstories
Gotta know
and
the
their
backstory.
relationships, how they're bad in them sometimes. So
Yeah.
I think that's really cool how they do that, and that's why
Hmm.
I tell everybody, if you're doing be a type of person, be yourself, but be that person that people want, are attracted, whatever your thing is, and I think that's the big thing with books, is that you have to spill a little bit of yourself in it, and that's why it's such a personal thing.
Yep.
I love when Stephen King says, I put my soul into it, and it's a little part of me when I give out a book, and it means a lot to me.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. It's so important for all of us, whatever we're doing. A lot of people will ask us, and this is another thing. Marketing is so important. A lot of people will say, I have someone who has 500 followers, and he retweets me. He's been retweeting me for over a year, but he thinks when he retweets me, I'm supposed to retweet him 3 or 4 times. Where, no offense, I'm not being arrogant, but when someone with 500 followers
Yeah.
retweets you, it doesn't do very much. When someone with 40 almost 50,000 followers retweet you. It's a big deal.
Huge difference.
So that's why I'm telling you guys, if you're writers, we're not bragging, but if we've worked our butts off to get
Yeah.
where we are. And if you're a writer and you're a podcaster and you're not following us, we're giving you free stuff. We're not asking you to be a coach or whatever.
Or
Here's our
classes
class for
and-
$100 an hour.
Yeah, right, right.
We're not doing that. So if you follow us, follow all three of us, and we got all the information there. I'm telling you, and if you need help, we'll help. Don't use this. Some people give me lists of things I have to do in the morning. But
Today, actually.
yeah, we got another list. But
Oh, boy.
but like I said, if you give, you get. And if you're supportive of us, if you're retweeting our stuff, but get on the bandwagon of positive success. We've had some success. We've done some good things. And now we want to get to the next level.
Pay it forward.
And we want it paid forward, and we want people like-minded. If you're positive and you got some good stuff going on and you think you got what it takes, I'm telling you, get with us, support us. If Jen has a writer's list, put your stuff there.
Yes.
We will share it. We have helped so many writers.
Yeah.
Look at with God, I'm so bad on names that I could see her face. She's a good friend. But we did some marketing, and we had
Frankie?
Frankie. We had Frankie, our dear friend Frankie
Williams.
Frankie Williams. Check out her books, a beautiful book. She had a daughter that passed away. She did some books about it. And my God, we had Blake Shelton and Kelly Clarkson endorse it.
Yeah,
They
not just retweet it, but tell their
endorse it.
followers, I'm buying this. Why don't you guys buy this?
Amazing.
Let's all buy this together.
Thousands of sales
That was
overnight. And
amazing.
we had worked really hard to get in contact with them and to support them and to support the book. And I'm telling you, you guys, be with positive, good people that are going to give to you. And that's what we are. And that's what Jen does. Jen's helped so many writers, you can't count it. So please, gosh, be on our bandwagon. Follow us. We'll follow you. We'll share your stuff. As long as you're positive and cool to us, we'll be positive to cool to you.
And you don't start out with 40,000 followers. Like, that isn't how this works.
Say,
you know, we start from nothing.
When we met Jen, I remember meeting her, and she had, I think, about 4,000 followers on Twitter.
Yep.
Within a year, I believe, she went from 4,000 to about 30,000, and now she surpassed the 30,000. But what I loved was the community she created from, you follow me, I'll follow you. You retweet me, I'll retweet you. You retweet my pin tweet, which would be, a book or something very important. I'll retweet that for you as well. And she created this community of people who are so like-minded and loyal and really want to see everyone succeed. And that's what I love the most, is we have supporters and we have our own community of podcasters and marketers and people, like-minded people. And the best thing is when you find your people who support you and cheer you on. And they want everyone to succeed. And that's what Jen is. Jen is the person that wants everyone to succeed.
Yeah.
Jen,
there's enough room for all of us. There's enough room to sell all of our books.
There's enough bounty out there for all of us to do well. I see so much selfishness, and people will only I was taught, I went to marketing school for the internet, and I was told if they're smaller than you, don't retweet them. Don't help them. If they're bigger than you, retweet them and get them. And that was the mentality. And it bothered me because I thought to myself, wow, that's pretty dang selfish.
Yeah.
Plus, if you're not following anybody, you're not helping anybody. Why can't I get them to be my ally? Why can't I get them to help share my stuff, and I'll help share their stuff? So we did it that way. Now it's called naive, dumb, whatever. And I don't really.
But yet 45,000 followers later.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Florence and I have about 130,000 followers. So it's and Jen's taken over the world. I think she's got 60 or 70,000 followers on all her accounts. So
combined.
I'm telling you guys, it works. Kindness works. Positivity works. So if you got some work, if you're just doing a blog, if you're doing a podcast, please follow us because we will help.
Any positive, unique content, especially.
And it
something
all
that's
works, right?
individual.
Like it's no one thing. Like when you two look back at the success that you like when you look at the success you're having today, it wasn't overnight. Like you've been
No.
working and working and working at this, right? Like everyone has this false sense of coming on and watching one of your videos and be like, "Wow, they're on TMZ," or "Wow, they're getting actual endorsements from companies.
Yeah,
Wow,
it's
look at
not
these
overnight.
celebrities they have on." And it's like,
Thank you,
"Yeah, but
Seagrams.
I've been here, right? Like you're like,
Yeah,
I've
I'm
been
so
here. I've been out here. I've been pounding the pavement. And you'll probably never know that one thing that led to the next thing because it's all of it. It's all of
yeah,
it. It's the
yeah.
it's the podcast, it's the videos, it's the content, it's all the social media, it's the networking and the people that you meet. You'll never really look back and go, that was the thing. Like that was the thing that did it all because it's really all of it. You need all of it.
It
There is
is.
no one thing. There is no magic pill to get you 40,000 followers on X or
No.
100,000 video watchers.
It's
You know, you
work.
just
It's
don't
a
know.
lot of
It's
work.
work.
And I'm going to
Yeah.
tell something that we have never told anybody. Florence and I were asked to go cover the Oscars.
We were asked to cover someone who was going to be at the Oscars, and they wanted to know if we could be there on the red carpet because this particular, I'll say he's a fashion designer, international fashion designer, so he's not American. But they asked us if we, this was like 2 days before the Oscars, like it was like a
So obviously
Friday.
someone dropped
And
off.
Sunday,
Dropped out.
they wanted, us to know
So
if
we
we
were
were going to be
seconds.
there. And we were laughing because we're like, 2 nights before the Oscars. Are you crazy?
And we had something planned too. So we couldn't back out of it, a
Right.
family thing, so we
Yeah.
couldn't get out of it. But we
But it was
never
so
told a
funny.
soul because we thought no one's going to believe us. No, they're going to think we're bragging.
And to get a hotel
Oh,
Oh.
2 nights
God.
before the Oscars, not
It
to
would be
mention, yeah,
nowhere near there, probably. You
no,
probably would have hiked in from God knows where.
no. And not to mention, I would have to have a gown. He would have to have a tuxedo
Yeah.
or a
Yep.
really great suit. And again, this was one of those crazy last minute things where it was like, if you're planning on being there, we have a spot for you.
But
And
it's
he would love for you to cover him. And we're
Yeah.
like, what?
but what's cool is the moral that I'm trying to bring up is that we've had things happen that we're just regular people. We're not
Yeah.
no superstars. We're not celebrities. We're not anything. We're just regular people, and we're working really hard to try to make a dream come true that we've always wanted to do this. And it's just amazing how many the NFL, Dolly Parton, Taylor Swift,
Yeah.
all these people ask us to market. And I'm telling you, you could do it too if you just work hard and you get with the right people. Because when we first started, we were broke. We had no money to market, and people gave mercy on us. We paid a fraction of what they asked, and it helped us. And their only thing was pay it forward.
Pay it forward.
Never forget. So that's what we do. We pay it forward, and we try to be kind to people. And I'm telling you, before we get right into these questions, because I know there's some people out there waiting, but I'm telling you guys,
It's important.
please
Networking,
follow us.
yeah, networking is important. One of the things I learned from working in radio, when Cumulus Media hired me, I was actually doing live events. I mean, I was doing social media for them too,
Yeah.
but I've been doing, live events, live radio broadcasts, and the marketing I learned, the promotions I learned from being part of all that. And again, that in itself, going from being a teacher to working in
Yeah.
radio, like I said, like James said,
Yeah.
we had a dream to do this. I always wanted to be a broadcaster. Teaching was safer, but it was something that never left me. And getting a job at a radio station and learning what I learned was amazing. And James has the same background in radio as well. But I can't emphasize enough is, networking, making contacts, making friends with people.
Yep.
It's not a bad thing. It's actually probably helped us. One of the things that helped us the most is people really liked working with us, so they wanted to work with us again and again. TMZ is the perfect example. When they asked us to come on, we thought it was a one-time thing, and we thought, God, this is like winning the lottery. For us just doing it once was more than enough. And then for them to keep asking us back and asking us back. And actually, the last time they asked us, we had to actually say no. They asked us a couple of months ago, and we had to say no for various reasons. But again,
But it's no one
Connections.
thing. All of those
Connections. Yeah.
things led you down this path. Like
It's
all of
very
these
important.
things led you to where you are
Yes.
today. And you could say the same thing for anybody that's out there that's doing this work. There are very
Yes.
few, if any, true overnight, big,
Yeah.
slam like, hey, I have 100,000 followers. I'm all of a sudden a celebrity and everyone's reading my stuff and looking at my things. There's very few of those. You've got to work hard at this and you've got to work in all
Yes.
the areas.
Absolutely.
Okay. I know some of you are licking your chops. You want to get some questions, and I'm sorry. We always love talking to Jen, and we just got on some tangents, but I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, Seagrams. But I had to give another plug. Uh, Here's first question. This person says they have multiple genres they love that are their passion. How do you pick one?
Oh, I've heard this one so many times. I think we all do, right? We all have multiple genres. You were just talking about history. I mentioned Nathaniel Philbrick, who is a historical writer that I've read and really loved. I read romance. I read
He was
mystery.
just on, to interrupt you, he was just on C-SPAN not too long ago.
Oh, I love him. I love his
Yeah.
books. David McCullough, same way, his famous books. So I read that stuff. I read romance. I read sci-fi. So I think it really goes to the core of your story. What is your actual story aside from all the elements? And then decide where does that story actually fit within the genre. Maybe do it backward, right? Where you say, okay, my story is this guy that's going to go on a journey and he's going to pick something up and he's going to pick a collection of friends up and he's going to go on this hero's journey. Okay, well, does that fit better in sci-fi with your idea, or does that fit better in romance, or does that fit better in a historical fiction setting? So think about what you're right, what the story is, and then what's the backdrop. The backdrop is really your genre. Are you writing this with supernatural elements or not? Are you writing this in the city or in the country? Are you writing this in the United States or overseas? And that will kind of lead you to where the genre is. And remember, there's nothing that says you have to always write in the same genre. You could write both, right? But write the one that's the most compelling first, learn all of your lessons, and then you can always go back and revisit that other genre that you love just as much.
Wow, here's an interesting one. What's your definition of a good book?
Oh, wow. That's a
That
good
is it.
question.
That is a really good one. I think it's one that sticks with me, one that maybe surprises me a little bit, one that has like just enough of an emotional component that I remember it. There's a lot of books that I read that I don't really remember, that later I'm sometimes like, did I read that book? The ones that everyone's sitting around the table talking about. It's like, wait, did I read that or not? If you're remembering it, if there's some sort of lesson for you, if it makes you really think and pause and think about whatever it was that was written about it, then that's a book that's sticking with you. That for you, that's a good book, right? Whereas you could talk to your partner and they could be like, I hate that book, right? It's a very unique thing when you rate something as a good book for yourself.
Okay, here's someone. I'm writing my first book. What's the biggest mistakes young authors do?
Um, well, not finishing, right? That would probably be the I get a lot of people who tell me I'm almost done, but I'm not
Yeah.
actually finished, right? Like make sure that you finish. And I think probably trying to pack too much into one book, right? What's the core of the story? Like I will use myself as an example with Atonement. I wanted to tell the story of Genevieve O'Mara looking for her husband who's been missing for 40 years, right? The crux of that first book is that story, right? And what lengths is she going to go to find out what happened to him or to find him? So that's the core of the story. If you break it all down to the core of your story, you'll be sure to always return to that and make sure that you don't pack too much into it, and that allows you to actually finish it, right? It allows you to actually finish that story. Don't try to be overly mysterious. Don't try to mimic another writer like we were talking about earlier. Figure out the core of that story. What promises are you making to the readers? And then make sure you deliver on those promises in that first book.
Okay, this person said, I think I messed up on my first book. I think I made mistakes at the end and I didn't finish it properly. The second book is doing better. How can I make myself not do that mistake again?
Well, A really good editor will help you with that too. We've talked before about how you should have an editor. A lot of people that's expensive, and I get that. But read up on story structure, on plot, on character development, and figure out, you know, the biggest mistake I see with people who mention that when they're talking about the ending is that the ending doesn't fit the story, or you introduced a bunch of characters or another thread too close to the end of that book, right? Again, stick to the core of the story. Make sure that what are all the questions that were asked of that story, and did you answer them all? If you're adding a lot of things towards the end, if you did a twist for the sake of the twist, if you introduced a lot of people towards the end, that can be a mistake, right? Because it you go away from what you're supposed to be delivering to the reader. If you have all those great thoughts, then maybe it's not a standalone book. Maybe you're going to continue the story in another book, or you're going to do a trilogy of some kind. But nothing irritates people more than, like, if you're watching TV, for example, and it's a murder mystery and you just can't figure out who the killer is, and then all of a sudden in the last act you introduce if somebody walks onto the screen and you're like, who's this person? And like the whole purpose of them walking onto the screen is to be the killer, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm not invested in this person. I don't know who this person is. There's 20 minutes left for this movie or television show. This can't possibly be the killer. Like, because you now are out of the story. You're now disconnected. So
It's
that's
like a
usually
letdown.
the mistakes that happen when you're talking about the ending. I mean, I don't know if that person wants to come back with a follow up, be a little bit more clarifying with what the question is, but usually it's that you did too much towards the end and you went away from what the point of your original core story was.
Okay, this one, I don't have a lot of money. What do I do about illustrations? I'm pretty good in AI. Should I do my cover myself, or should I still try to hire someone?
This is so hard because I'm very sensitive about the financial limitations here, right? We're all out here, we're writing our own story. Not everybody is making, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year that they could just go and hire all these people, right? None of us are like that. Like, we're all working hard, we've all got to pay the bills. Um, but I just know, especially now, that AI it's a very sensitive topic in the artistic community, like with artists in general feeling like that's creeping on them, right? That's creeping along on them and taking territory that it shouldn't. And just like you wouldn't want AI to suddenly write your book, you probably wouldn't want AI to come along and be the cover. But there are a lot of people who do their own covers. There are a lot of people that do their own covers. Maybe you want to do that instead of AI. If you don't have that money, if money is a problem, then limit your resources to editing and marketing and advertising, and just go with something maybe more stock photography, like on the cover. But if you do have the money, it is worth hiring an artist to do the cover. Make that cover as unique as the book that's inside. And don't forget, people say don't judge a book by the cover, but they do, right? Like, they
Yeah,
pick up a book. If that cover looks completely
they do.
like innocuous, or looks like AI, or looks like it doesn't explain what the story is, they might put it back down. So you are risking something there. But I'm very sensitive about the financial concerns. It is difficult for independent writers. You are expending a lot of money, and you're doing it before you ever sell a book, right? So this
Yeah.
is a lot of cash up front that you're putting out there. So it can be very hard, but maybe weigh all those before you decide to go down the now she said, or he said something about illustrations, like, do it yourself. Even then, that's you're the artist, that's your artistic take on what's there. So as opposed to AI.
Yeah, you're right. I just saw a story on Twitter where an artist was really ticked off that someone kind of made some art that kind of looked like his stuff, but
Yeah.
he felt the person stole it.
Hmm.
And what's funny is the art world backed him, and
Yeah.
they attacked the person that they thought plagiarized his art, and they just trashed his site and went on his site and just put all this negativity. The guy finally took it down and said, "I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't copy it. I'm not admitting to anything, but I don't want there to be any hard feelings." So it is, because it does suck a lot. You see Newsbreak and other platforms on news, they're using AI.
Yeah.
And and a lot of people are complaining about it because the stories are not well written. They don't give good facts. They're just kind of thrown out there because AI still, the guy that made ChatGPT says he doesn't use ChatGPT.
Yeah.
He uses it sometimes, but he says it's
Yeah.
so wrong so often he
Yeah.
doesn't trust it. So
Right.
that's a
Yeah, it's
huge.
just if you talk to enough artists, like when Alan and I go to the shows and we talk to the comic book artists that are in our row and in our vicinity, especially if we're our immediate neighbors where we're at these shows, they all have a big sensitivity to it. They all feel
Mm-hmm.
like that's not real art. That's not unique art. That's a replication of some kind. That's taking jobs from us. That's taking away from our own creativity. I'm not saying they're right or wrong. I'm just saying that's out there and you should consider that and be prepared if you do it. There are going to be people that come out after you and say, that's an AI cover. Like that
Yeah.
they're going to come after you. And now you're putting it on a product you want to sell, right? That's the other thing. It's not like you're just using it for character art or for social media posts, right? That's sort of innocuous and I don't think is getting a lot of the pushback. But if you're going to put it on something and sell it, right? That's when you have to be prepared that there'll be people that come out and have a problem with that. Now,
Yeah.
having said that, if you really fall in love with something that it produced,
Yeah.
then that's your decision that you have to make and you go into it with your eyes wide open and prepared to defend it and love it and say I don't care. And I admire those people too, right? Like
Yeah.
you have to just as long as you know and as long as you understand, then those are the decisions that you make and you can live with.
Now, here's another one. What do you see in a new author, an indie author? What do you see when you see, is there any indie authors? Like, what do you look at? It says here, do you look at the art? Do you look at the book? What attracts you first to an indie author?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's the story. What is the story that they're telling? Do I find that that would be something? I don't really look and say, oh, this is indie versus non-indie. I never really pay attention to that. It's more, what is the story about? When I'm sharing a lot of the work that's out there, I always look at the cover, look at the back blurb. Sometimes people send me things. Sometimes people send me manuscripts or blurbs about their books or offer to send me free books if I'll read it and give a review. And I always go back to the same thing. Is it something that I would want to read? Right. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I really look for. I don't say, oh, this is an indie author, so therefore I'm going to buy it. It's more like being blind to that is better off. Right. You want to read what you're interested in reading and not necessarily specifically because it's indie.
Here's another thing. What are you most proud of so far?
I would say it's the fact that most people have come back to me critically have said that along the trilogy, the books got better as I was going through. That's probably what I'm most proud of because that's telling me I'm learning, I'm getting it, I'm understanding it. Like I'm taking something away from every book that I write and I'm carrying it into the next book. And I think that is difficult to do because you have to take the critique, right? When someone says, well, this character wasn't this good, or this scene wasn't this good, or you could do better here, you have to take it and absorb it and understand that that person is doing that for you to get better, not to tear you down. If you can get that mindset and work on it and get better with everyone, it's going to be better for you as a writer.
Yeah. Now, here's something, and this is a good question. What do you think is a weakness that you're working on now?
Probably that there's so much distance for me personally. Like this is the fourth book, but there's quite a distance between the third book that came out and the fourth book, and I'm sort of having to do a lot of refreshing, right? Like I think if I could go back, and you can't always, obviously you can't go back, but you can't always help it. Life gets in the way. I've
Yeah.
had some things happen over the last couple of years, but when you have that kind of distance, and you're for writing, for sitting down and writing, it can be problematic. That can be a weakness. You want to sort of stay fresh in it. You want to sort of always be in it. And maybe that's not a book. Maybe it's a short story, or maybe it's some blog pieces for your website, or maybe it's something for your social media. But if you can stay a little bit more fresh in it, it will be less of a struggle when you go to that next book.
And again, we want to just kind of reiterate this is that a lot of people, another thing that people will do marketing is they will just constantly retweet celebrities, or they'll constantly retweet
Yeah.
and comment celebrities. Do you think Jennifer Aniston is going to say, God, Jim, that was great. Good job, dude. I'm going to retweet that. They're not going to
The
share your
chances of
stuff.
that happening.
It's
Yeah.
not happening. So
Yeah.
what you've got to do is you've got to get people that are as silly as us to support people, but we care. We've been there. We know when we I remember having
Yeah.
19 followers. My first
Yeah.
100 followers, I was like
Yes.
jumping up. 100
Yes.
people followed me. So we remember those days. So please get with people. You have a unique situation. Follow us.
Right.
Ask us for help. If you have any questions, we're learning too. We still have a lot to learn about what we're doing, and we're eager to learn, and we're eager also to share. We just care that you have a giving spirit, and in our little clique of a group of people, of hopefully thousands, that we want to share. We want everyone to succeed and everyone to do well. And that's something that we hope that you do. We don't want selfish people, because
No.
that's not going to work. If you get 5,000 people that follow you on your side, I'm telling you, you could do anything. And when
Yeah.
you start growing, the key right now, and I'm challenging all of you, grow your social media, more
Yes.
eyes on the prize. And the way to do that is to be proactive, to be giving to people like us, to be giving to other people that are caring, that want you to grow and have no issue helping you. That's the thing. I always say, you want to know the helpers, look in their timeline. If their
Yeah.
timeline is just them, then they're not going to help you. If their
Right.
timeline is retweeting other people, those are the helpers. Like, who's saying, oh, Mr. Rogers said that. Look for the helpers. So I remember you, Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
So that's the thing, is that we're real. We're in this for a long haul. We're not going anywhere. We want it. We have a lot to do in life, and we want to succeed in so many ways. And if you're a positive person, we don't care what religion, color, whatever,
Politics,
we
don't
could
care.
Right.
care less. We
Yep.
just want like-minded, good people that want to succeed.
Yes.
And I'll give you the last word, Jen. What's your passion when you see people that want to be around us and want to be? I get so many people emailing me. I love the vibe. I love the positiveness. I love you guys giving us information. To me, that inspires me. What about
Yeah.
you? Why should people follow you or even believe us?
Yeah. Well, I think it's like you said, just come out and see what we're doing. Come and look at the feeds. Come and look at our timelines. Come and look at the type of material that we're putting out there. If you can relate to this, if you can see what we're doing, if you can see what we're publishing and we're putting out there, and you can see the types of things we're saying and how positive we are with each other, then that's a group you want to be with, because there's too much negative. You don't want to be out there in the negative space, and you don't want to be out there in the space where people are just thinking about themselves. Like, again, if you like what you're hearing and what you're seeing, then that's what you believe. It's not just what we're saying, it's our actions, right? Go to the timelines. You can see what that's all about, and you can see the different things that we're doing and participating in. And if that's something that interests you, then you've found some of your people, right? Like,
Yep.
you want to come
Yeah.
on board and you want to be with us and watch and participate with us. And they ask great questions, James, as usual.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're very smart people. And what's
Yes.
so great about all of this is that when you see people and they're succeeding and they're doing well, that's so important to us, because that's what it is that we all want to make it. We all want to do well. And if the only way to do that is to get like-minded people, because if all of us are helping each other, now we're reaching huge amount of people.
Yeah.
And that's the key. If you got 500 people, don't be discouraged. Get 1,000. So do all you can to get 1,000.
Yeah.
And the best way to do it is to get us sharing with you, and for you to share our stuff. And we're a team, and that's what we've got to do, and that's what we all want you to do with us. So look at our numbers. Look at what we have. Celebrities. I'm rambling a little bit because I forgot my chain of thought, but what I'm telling you is that we have celebrities that follow us, that they are such blessings, and they're such friends. And
Yeah.
the reason they always tell me, you guys are real. You guys are
Yeah.
real. And
Yeah.
that's Florence is real. You're real. You tell it like it is. You want people to do well.
Yeah.
And that's why celebrities trust us so much, because they're not trusting to a lot of people. and we have people that it would blow you away that follow us, and that's what we want. We want people to realize they can trust us, and we will be there for them. Florence, it's really exciting time. I
It
love this
is.
time of year because
It
a lot
is.
of new books are out there, a lot of stuff going out there,
Right
a lot of
before the
marketing.
holidays.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, the
It's
So
the
holidays are the
best time.
best. The holidays are the best. Well, thank you both for having me on.
Thank
I love coming on
you.
the show. I love chit chatting with you guys. You're two
Oh,
of
we
my
do
favorite
too.
people. I'm
well
so
we
blessed that we met and connected, Florence. You've
we have
been
Yes.
so
huge help to
much.
me.
And
Feel the
remember
same way.
and remember we still have publishers in the background.
Yes.
We just want to wait and get a little bit bigger, and then we're going to got some very special things that are going to be happy. And do you want to announce also another? You guys have talked about some of the things
Next
that she's
year.
gone next year. Another appearance by
Yes.
J.L. Rothstein. Why don't you say it?
Yeah, I am going to be at Fan Expo, big Fan Expo in
Yay.
Boston. I am going to be there. Very, very excited. Put the application in. We were very excited that there's such a quick
Oh,
turnaround for us,
Oh,
because
good.
they certainly check out your social media and your website, and they kind of evaluate that. So we were very excited to be able to put that out and say
Mhm.
we're going to be at Fan Expo. So we'll that's a they do it over Labor Day weekend, and it's in August, at the end of August, and it's just so fun to do that. It's multiple days
I'm
over that
excited.
we
weekend,
got to
and
do
so
another
We have to
live.
do
We
a
got to do
live.
another
So I
live.
already said it. I already called it.
We ha-
We're doing a live.
I'm telling you, this one's so big.
Yes.
If you've ever been to the San Diego and all the other Comic Cons, this one's as big as it. It's
Yeah,
huge.
Authors
yeah,
Row at Fan Expo.
For the East Coast, it is a monster
yeah,
place. So
yep,
it's
very
how
excited.
exciting. Yes. Is Alan going to be there?
Of course,
Of course,
Yes, he
he's
Alan
my
will
has to
be
marketing
be.
there.
person.
I
He's gonna
want
set
him
up
to
the
be
table.
I want him to dress up. That's what I want. I want him to be one of the what are those Star Troopers, the guys that attacked Han Solo. I want him
Yep,
to be one of those guys.
stormtroopers. Yep,
Yes.
Stormtroopers. There you
yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah.
Yay.
That would be
We'll see
cool.
what
So
we'll
glad.
see what we can get for him.
Well,
He's always working on the all the gear. He's always working on because we'll have a
Great.
fourth book, and we'll be revealing the cover probably sooner rather than later.
Ooh.
oh
And the
my
name of the
God.
book, and so that'll be coming out. We're working
Wow.
on all that, and so I'm sure there'll be more merchandise and material for that he's busy working on. So he's
How exciting.
And
yeah,
also go to Jen's website because that will share all the stuff. Follow her on Twitter. We've been
Yes.
screening some of her Twitter, JL Rothstein1 on Twitter, and then go to www.jlrothstein.com. That's her website. Sign up for her mailing list so you could get all the stuff. You could ask her questions. You could get
yeah,
her books.
Yeah.
And the Heaven Sent series is available on Amazon or wherever books are sold. She has 3 books. They're all amazing, and I'm telling you, you will love it. And you know what will be really good for a lot of you if you're young authors or new authors, get her books because the character development you will learn because she really has a knack for it. And I'm telling you, if you read her books, you will see how she develops the characters into really unique entities, and this will help your book, help your book and the way you write it. Because I think that's one of the key weaknesses with a lot of writers. I feel they just kind of throw people out there. I don't
yeah.
really know who they were. Uncle Jed, he was never in the book. What the heck? So, I mean, you got all these things going around where I think if you do read her books and check them out, you'll see just how to do it, and it will really help you instead of paying a guru 10 grand or whatever to
Yeah.
get you to do it. So please follow us all.
Yes.
Florence, I'm telling you, it's exciting. We've gotten
It
a lot
is.
of new followers of
A
late.
lot of new followers.
It's exciting
It's
time.
Oh,
very
that's
exciting.
awesome.
And we want
So
to thank
happy
all
for you
of
guys.
you. Thanks all, not just for supporting us, but for supporting Jen and supporting our Thursday night show, which has been really fun. And thank you all for coming out and joining us.
And we
Appreciate it.
we want some more questions. So next week we'll be back at 5:30, and make sure you bring your questions. A couple weeks ago we had a ton. Last week we had some weather issues
Yeah.
that we couldn't
Yeah,
record,
it was
so we
crazy
apologize
here.
for that. But next week we'll be back, and please
Yeah.
get those questions in early. I always write them down. I have a
Yes.
file in my office that that I have all the questions. So please keep sending them. They're
Thank you,
good
guys.
questions and they're tough. If you
Thank you.
get real advice. So thank you all, you
Yeah.
guys.
Have a
Take
great
care.
night.
Thank
Have
you.
a great
Bye,
night.
guys.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Jen.
See ya.
Bye.